Someone pointed out to me that my last post was a little bit negative, so I've made this one all positive. Reasons to love, not hate. In this case, the Antiques Roadshow. The Antiques Roadshow, which has been running on British television for over 4 decades, on the off chance that you haven't seen it, it's where people from the public bring in their antiques, maybe something they found in an attic, bought at a jumble sale, got from a grandparent, and the expert explains what this piece is and ultimately its value. And the number one reason this is such a brilliant piece of television is stories. Each segment, each antique, each little piece on the program is a story, but not one story, but 2. So first of all, you have the story of the person who brings it in.
She wore this a couple of times to sort of quite nice functions and so on, and the ring she didn't really wear because it's quite a big, heavy ring.
Then the story of the piece itself as told by the expert
man.
And these 2 stories run in parallel brilliantly, like plot and subplot. And like all good stories, you're wondering, where is the story going to end and what is the conclusion? What is this thing? And ultimately, what is its value? The second reason it's so good is because of the enthusiasm of the presenters.
When I opened the box, my heart jumped.
Often on television, the presenters are a little bit forced. They're there to present, they're there to enthuse, so they really ham it up in an effort to raise the energy. But the beauty of the Antiques Roadshow is you're sitting in on this conversation between these 2 people, and the expert is actually the expert in the area. They don't have to pretend to love these things. This is their passion. This is what they've been working at all their lives. So they're passionate and they're interested by default. And it comes through in spades. And often that enthusiasm, as I said, can be annoying when it's thrown at you. But when it's genuine, it's genuinely spellbinding.
And the subject.
The third reason is an obvious one, and it is visuals. Obviously, television is a very visual medium, but they use the visuals really well and really simply. And I think there's a lesson in this. You always, as you hear the description, see what you need to see, little close-ups. In this case here, the person looking around the back, and then you see a camera angle showing you what's engraved on the back. So it's just this very simple close-ups, show, tell, show, tell. And need I make the obvious point about PowerPoint? There's no bullets, there's no text anywhere. Text is uninteresting and uninformative. You have the voice the whole time doing the telling, and you have the images very simply doing the showing. Show and tell, and it's spellbinding. My fourth reason is something I've only noticed in recent years, and it's the movement or the body language or the hand gestures of the experts themselves. They move around the pieces beautifully. They point, they show, even the way they hold them is very descriptive in and of itself. And it's not just the way they hold and point and explain with their hands. It's also the way they do this metaphorically. They will talk about how this artist uses a very punchy style when he's drawing clouds, or you can see how the carving on this is very intricate. They will mime as well as explaining, and it makes the description so much more physical, so much more visceral, and allows again that enthusiasm to flood through, and it's really, really effective. I say to people in presentations, you can use yourself as a visual aid. You can be part of your own slides, and in a very simple way they are doing this and doing it brilliantly. My final reason is the finale of the whole thing. What is this wonderful object and how much is it worth? That's in your mind the whole time. You're wondering where this thing is going to go, and that keeps you interested. And it's a very simple form of interaction. I say to people in a presentation, you don't have to have people putting their hands up and speaking to be interacting. If they feel involved, if they're part of the presentation as it's unfolding, they're interacting with it in a more interested way. So sometimes instead of giving a really interesting fact, you could ask a question. Instead of saying we spent over 180,000 on legal fees last year, you could say, does anyone know how much we spent on legal fees last year? Get people thinking, wondering, asking the question before you answer it. And obviously in the Antiques Roadshow, there's this amazing denouement, this reveal. What is this thing worth and how will people respond to this? So this piece has been in front of me all through this short video, and I'm sure you're curious as to what a wonderful little item this is, where it's from. Well, there's a clue on the bottom. You can see there the initials, BB, which is the craftsman's name, his initials, and there's TYO, which stands for transition year option. So this was made by this master craftsman in his transition year. And obviously to me this is priceless, but if you're really interested, I could accept offers of between 3,000 and 5,000.